The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from experts on such topics as legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to our experts in community association law, estate planning law, tax relief, Medicare, public insurance adjusters, neuropathy treatment, business brokers, and personal injury law, along with many other topics. Now here's your host for the last 17 years, Steve O.
Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where we bring you the finest experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. We want to welcome our TikTok crowd. I have to do it separate because I have to actually run it off of my cell phone, and I do our main show here off my laptop. So I have to say hello to two different audiences. Anyway, this is going to be, here in Florida, we have an older demographics here. So I'm not surprised that this show, our Florida Senior Planning Show, is so popular. First of all, it is one of the few shows that we have on twice a month. Most all of our other shows are once a month. Even our hour-long shows. But this show is so important. And I know there's a lot of procrastinators out there, but I want you to write this down. Florida Senior Planning, attorney Tom Olson. I get so excited about the show. And for those of you who've been following us for a long time, we are adding an assisted living show starting next month. But let's get to our great show. Attorney Tom Olson. I always wonder why he adapted to doing this show so well, and then I find out he's been doing a radio show for 30 years. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Steve, to you and all of your loyal listeners.
Hey, I see why your show on the radio is so popular. You're so good at explaining to people all the complicated avenues for estate planning.
Steve, I've been doing the Olson on Law radio show for 40 years. It is America's longest running legal radio show. I do it every Saturday morning at 11. I've got my own studio right here in our office. You can listen to it at WDBO, but you can also find it wherever you get your podcasts, Olson on Law radio show.
Tom, we are so blessed to have you because we've got so many new people tuning in. Can you just tell them about your firm?
Steve, Florida Senior Planning, we do estate planning and nursing home planning. So estate planning would be wills, trusts, probate, helping people to avoid probate. And then we help people get the health care that they need through the Florida Waiver Program and helping them to protect their wealth from the cost of a nursing home.
Tom, just because you do it a little bit different than other firms, tell people how you charge for your services.
Steve, we do everything on a flat fee basis. We offer a free initial consultation to talk about your estate planning and nursing home planning. We can do that in person, over the phone, via Zoom. We assist clients throughout the state of Florida. When we meet with you together with the client, we come up with an action plan. We put that on a one-page sheet, so we explain everything to you. But when you leave with your action plan. That action plan tells you what we're going to do for that client and what their homework is. And once we agree on an action plan, Steve, we always work on a flat fee basis from the very beginning. We quote what the fee will be with the client, and that serves them well, works well for us too.
We got a question at the end of your show yesterday it was too late to get on, but someone wanted to know, what is the difference between estate planning law and elder law?
Oh, I would say elder law might be a very, very broad description of things, but I would say estate planning falls within a category or an item to be done within estate planning law or elder law. So they're very similar, but there may be areas of elder law that might be very specific. For example, helping people to get their Social Security or helping people get a legal guardianship for an elderly person.
Well, it's amazing how many, I guess, people are asking about elder law now. We're going to be asking you probably 2 or 3 questions. It's going to take some time for you to answer today. We got 3 or 4 questions again after the show yesterday. People who've never done estate planning law before, people have maybe friends of the family members, but I would much rather them hear from you, Tom. Can you kind of walk people through who've never been through the estate planning process and what happens when they sign on with your firm?
Yeah, well, Steve, let's put even broaden that category, because there are people that did a will 10 years, 20 years ago. They stuck it in a desk drawer. They haven't looked at it since.
Yes.
They really need to pull it out. At this Florida Senior Planning, we do a free review of your existing estate planning documents. Steve, when we do estate planning for people, we do 3 parts. Part number 1, basic documents, a will, a living will declaration where you ask that you not be kept alive by machines, a health care surrogate. So if you're not able to, you're appointing somebody to decide what doctors, what hospitals, what medications, a financial power of attorney. So if you're not able to, you're appointing somebody to pay your bills and manage your affairs. Steve, I want to point out that of those 4 documents, only one of them applies what happens when you pass away. That's your will. Your living will, healthcare surrogate, financial power of attorney, those are all documents that are needed and used during your lifetime. Then part 2 to estate planning with Florida Senior Planning, we talk about avoiding probate. People want to avoid probate because it's expensive and takes a long time. If we do proper planning, we do some work, you, the client, do some homework, we can take all steps necessary to avoid probate. That's going to make things simple, easy, inexpensive for their kids. When the clients pass away, not only is it going to save them money, but it's going to save them from arguing with each other, which is quite common these days. And then Steve, part 3, we help people with nursing home planning. If you're out there in the community and you're talking to your friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, and you hear these words, oh, mama's going into a nursing home. That nursing home is $15,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Everything she's ever worked for, down the drain, nothing we can do about it. No, we want you to know, the listeners out there, Florida Senior Planning, we have all the tools we need to protect your wealth from the cost of a nursing home and have the state of Florida pay for it through the Medicaid program. Steve, 65% of the people that are in nursing homes, they are not paying for it. Florida Medicaid program is paying for it. They all get the same great level of care.
Wow. I bet you a lot of people did not know that. Someone just wrote, what about home care?
So, Steve, Florida has a great program called the waiver program. When you call Florida Senior Planning, just speak that word, waiver program. The waiver program is through the state of Florida. It will provide up to 30 hours per week of free in-home care, like cooking, like cleaning, activities of daily living, taking you to doctor's appointments. It is a program that is meant to keep you out of a nursing home and is to keep you home. And that's what everybody wants. They want to stay home as long as they can. Maybe you're helping your elderly parent out here in Florida, but you need a little bit of help. Maybe you live here in Florida and you want to continue to live in your home, but you need a little bit of help. This Florida waiver program would be perfect for you. Now, you get the 30 hours of free in-home care when you need it. When you're ready, the state of Florida will interview you. They'll ask you questions. Of course, at Florida Senior Planning, we're going to coach you on how to answer those questions. And the state of Florida will rate you on a scale of 1 to 5. If you rate a 1, 2, 3, you don't really need it. You're not going to get it. But once you rate a 5, it's like getting a Disney Fast Pass. You will be put at the front of the line and get ready for these 30 hours of free in-home care. That whole process, Steve, takes about 60 days. So you got to always be thinking out, not what's happening today, but what might your life look like in 60 days. So just be aware, Florida Waiver Program takes about 60 days to get that services in your home. 30 hours of free in-home care, light cooking, light cleaning, activities of daily living, bathrooms, toileting, showers, taking you to doctor's appointments. It will help you stay home and your home longer.
Well, is it hard to qualify for that, Tom?
We have all the tools, Steve, to get you qualified. And I don't care what you own. You own a home, vacation home, rental property, income property. You got pension, Social Security, income. Steve, we can protect it all. You get to keep it all and get these 30 hours of free in-home care. Now, Steve, you're talking about your new show for assisted living. Great. I want the listeners to know that assisted living is always private pay. We're talking about nursing home. Assisted living is always private pay, but if we get you qualified for the waiver program, your assisted living bill will go down by about $1,500 a month. So even if you're in assisted living, yeah, it's private pay, but this waiver program can reduce your monthly fee at the assisted living by about $1,500 a month. Please, Steve, keep that in mind as you're talking to your new assisted living show.
That's great. I'm glad you brought that up, Tom. Tom, we just got another question. How does a hospital know if I do not want to be resuscitated?
So, Steve, a living will is a pull the plug, don't keep me alive by machines. If you want to go farther, and we always give our clients information on this, you would get what's called a DNR, do not resuscitate. That DNR has got to be signed by your doctor. So you get the DNR from your doctor. It goes on top of your living will. So you have both of these documents. If you're at home and you have a DNR, in a perfect world, you're taping that up above your bed or you're taping it to your refrigerator so that when somebody calls 911, they're going to very quickly see that you have a DNR in place. If they can't find your DNR when you call 911, they cannot find your DNR if you don't have a DNR, even if you have a living will. The 911 paramedics have no choice but to keep you alive, use every means possible to keep you alive and get you to the hospital. If you don't want to be resuscitated, get a DNR and make sure it's at your home. But Steve, whenever you go into a hospital, they're always going to standard procedure ask you if you have a living will and DNR in place. And of course, they're going to put that in your hospital file.
This is from Mark in Delray Beach. Thank God there's a show like this out there. Well, there's another big one, and that's Tom's radio show on Saturday. But they want to know what happens if you have a law firm now that puts your package together. Can you look at that again? Can we come in and you look at that again to tell us if we are in the right place?
Yeah, exactly. Steve, we are happy to review your existing estate planning documents. You can email them to us, fax them to us, drop them off, bring them to when you come to meet with us. Steve, we're going to look at those, typically 4 documents, but sometimes people have trusts as well. We're going to review those for you and make sure they work. Now, Steve, what I want the listeners to know is they might have a great will. They may have the most beautifully drafted will on the planet, but having a will does not avoid probate. A will simply directs what happens to when your assets go through probate. So let's say you did a will a year ago. You're saying, Tom, I'm good to go. But did your attorney talk to you about avoiding probate? Because that's part 2 of what we always do at Florida Senior Planning. Steve, when we're talking about avoiding probate, we have some great tools for it for your home that you live in, or your beach vacation condo, or your rental property. We have a tool called a ladybird deed. That's a deed that FloridaSeniorPlanning.com would prepare for you. That deed states that as long as you're alive, it is your property to do with as you please, no restrictions whatsoever. But when you pass away, that property would automatically go to your kids. No headaches, no hassles, no probate. That's called a ladybird deed. By the way, Steve, at Florida Senior Planning, we have free booklets that we can mail you on all of these topics: how to avoid probate on your home, how to avoid probate on your bank accounts, how to get free in-home care for seniors, how to protect your wealth from the cost of a nursing home. We can mail you all of those booklets. Contact us through FloridaSeniorPlanning.com or call our office right now. We're standing by to talk to you at 407-423-5561.
Here's a question from YouTube. Thank you, Tom. This is a really good way to learn about planning for our future. I'm curious, what is the difference between you preparing a will versus a person doing it themselves?
Steve, I'm just not a believer in somebody preparing their own will. So I'll give you a couple of examples of that why. But one would be when I'm doing a will for clients and they say, Tom, when we pass away, we want to leave everything equally to our 3 kids. My next question to them is, well, if one of your children dies before you, would his or her share go to his or her children, your grandchildren, or would his or her share go to your surviving 2 kids? Clients will often look at me and say, I didn't even think about that. Well, if you don't know what you don't know, I don't see how you're going to prepare your own will. But more importantly is that if you do your own will and you pass away and there's something within that will that's not clear, not answered, not determined, well, you're not around to answer those questions or to fix that problem. Steve, that's why I believe it. But Steve, if your listeners out there are concerned about fees, well, let me say this. Steve, when we do these basic 4 documents for people, a will, a living will, a healthcare surrogate, a financial power of attorney, if we do those 4 documents for a single person, the fee is only $1,200. If we do those documents for a married couple, 4 for him, 4 for her, the total fee is only $1,500. So, Steve, get it done through Florida Senior Planning. You know it's going to be done properly, and it's not that expensive.
You know, Tom, I don't think people actually realize, who've never sat down with a estate planning attorney like yourself, there is so much to know. And you've been doing this for such a long time that I got to tell you, people can really feel comfortable about sitting down with you and planning this out. Because I know from doing so many of these shows, there is so much to know.
Yeah, Steve, in my 45 years of law practice, I've done thousands and thousands of wills and trusts. Steve, one of the beauties of doing my own radio show and doing this radio show with you is that when people call FloridaSeniorPlanning.com, they feel like they already know me and can trust me. And that's just a wonderful way to do business with people, Steve. But other than that, Steve, the lawyers and the staff at Florida Senior Planning, we're not hoity-toity. We're just average, ordinary, down-to-earth lawyers. We're like a family here, Steve. And by the way, every day I bring my little dog, Max. He's a 6-pound toy poodle, and clients and staff love him. We're all very casual here, Steve. And so, again, we're easy to do business with, FloridaSeniorPlanning.com.
You know, Tom, I was thinking about yesterday, after I've been doing this for so long, I remember the days that, the yellow page ad, whoever had the biggest yellow page ad.
Yeah.
And then it went to websites, whoever had the nicest website, and there's some attorneys that advertise on TV. But I got to tell you, what's so great about podcast is people can get to know you. There's so much they can learn that they could not learn in an ad.
Yeah. Steve, when I became a lawyer in 1981, lawyer advertising was absolutely barred by the Florida bar. You couldn't do it at all, period.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. So I'd say right around 1986 or so, some lawyer challenged the Florida bar, challenging it based on free speech. And so the Florida bar said, okay, well, you can put an ad in the Yellow Pages. And then, of course, as a young lawyer, every year, the Yellow Page salesman, there used to be such a thing, folks, would come around. And of course, they're trying to, talk me into an advertiser. Tom, you need bigger, bigger, bigger. If you want to be at the front of the Yellow Pages, you're going to have to go bigger, bigger, bigger. Every year you spend more and more and more on Yellow Pages. And, to some degree, I bought into it, but I like putting my advertising dollars towards the radio show and towards your podcast.
Well, I got to tell you, I just want you to know people so appreciate you. I'm really, I shouldn't be after all these years, but people will just write just to thank you. That's really amazing. And so we touch a lot of people. Tom, tell people again how they can reach you.
You can reach us through our website, floridaseniorplanning.com. We assist clients anywhere in the state of Florida. From Pensacola to the Keys, we can assist you with estate planning, helping you to avoid probate, helping you to get free in-home care for seniors up to 30 hours per week, helping you to protect your wealth from the cost of a nursing home. We're standing by to help you, floridaseniorplanning.com. You can call us right now if you want to, 407-423-5561.
Tom, you and your family have a wonderful 4th of July weekend, and Tom will be back with us not once, but twice next month. Thanks so much, Tom.
See you, Steve.
Have a good one. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.